Welcome to this look at a new mod on Farming Simulator 19 on PlayStation 4 with a few additional extras on Sandy Bay. With me, MrSealyp. This is the Mac AGR ILF pack. This is the Energreen, but this is under the Lizard brand on console. This was released yesterday, the 27th of June. It was my daughter's birthday. Therefore, I wasn't able to do the mod review on this yesterday. I know a few people have had pre-release versions of this on PC. They've already been having a look at it, and there's probably already some videos out there, but I thought I'd have a look at it myself. Now, I'm going to put this out there. I may well do something wrong. I may get something wrong. I've been having a bit of a fiddle around with it and a bit of a play with it to try and get my head around it. There's quite a few different options and controls and different things like that. But anyway, like I say, we'll get onto it. I'm on Sandy Bay. This is the map that this machine is particularly well suited to. However, it can be used on any map. But there's going to be one function on this that you can only use on Sandy Bay at the moment, at the time of recording this, so we'll see. So in front of me we've got the ILF S1500, which is the machine itself. This comes with 3 headers technically. It comes with the new speed grass header, which is this one here, mowing header, that attaches. Then we've got the new speed grass drop, which is this one here. And it also comes with the Forestry head, which we're going to have a look at in a little while. I've got it in various different colours. There are a few different options to look at, which we're going to do momentarily as well. Now this is, as the thumbnail says, this is for this mod, but also Cuttable Hedges. Like I said, I'm on Sandy Bay. I touched briefly on it on my Sandy Bay map tour that I posted yesterday. But we do have Cuttable Hedges. There's a couple of things I missed on Sandy Bay yesterday, and when I say I missed them, one there was a very good reason for, and I will show you now. If I go into this menu here and then go across that way and go all the way down here where it says switch to trains, I always have my switch to trains off. If you turn switch to trains on Sandy Bay and then scroll through your vehicles, tab through, you can do this. You can get in the skyrocket helicopter. So the helicopter that's part of the map, you can go around. At the moment I think it's sitting stationary. Oh, it is moving. You can do the cruise control on this as well. You can also go inside it. And it follows a route round. You can't actually fly it as such. It follows a set path, a set route round, but you can get in the helicopter and you can do a route around. Like I say, I didn't pick up on this on my map tour because I have my switch to trains off. So only tabbing through vehicles didn't pop up. Thank you to everyone that commented and mentioned this. A lot of people said I forgot it. I didn't even know it existed, to be fair. And to be fair, everything else I covered, forgetting one thing is not too bad of a problem, is it? Or I'm probably not the only thing I missed, but anyway. Regardless of that, so that's the helicopter. So, I have got some hedges put out already. Now on Sandy Bay, around the map there are cuttable hedges. Not all of the hedges are cuttable. The cuttable hedges, I'm going to go this side so you can see in the light a little bit better, are kind of a dark green, slightly wispy kind of look to them. These type of hedges are cuttable on the map. I've got some on the field over there as well. There are other hedges, I'm just trying to think if we've got some that we can get to fairly quickly. The other hedges that are on the map are what we consider to be kind of more standard hedgerows, hedges on a lot of the maps. And that's these ones here. And these ones have got a lot of kind of browns in them as well. These ones aren't cuttable. So the ones that are pretty much all green are. But here's the thing. Something else I kind of touched on briefly on the map tour yesterday. was that you can plant them, which I showed a planter doing it, and on that field I've planted some hedges around. But what you can also do on here, on Sandy Bay, part of the texture pack, if I go into here, if we go into here, and we go across to our landscaping tool, like so, this brush type here, if we look down to the bottom right, it looks like the wood chip one. I need to close that down a little bit more. If we go across one, you've got the grass one. Go one over, we've got our wood chip one. This wood chip texture, when I press on that, puts hedges on. So if I zoom out, you can see. So what you can do, if you don't want to plant them, like this one I used a planter, a seeder, and I planted the hedges, and the hedges grew. If you want instant hedges, if you want to split a field up, you can still drive through them, but you can actually place the hedges. Now those placeable hedges, as part of the texture pack, they are cuttable as well. This one here is one I placed. I didn't seed this one. This is a placed one. These are cuttable too. So, just thought I'd throw that in there because I'm going to be doing something with those, and I know people will say, well, hang on a minute, what about? So, this mod itself, you will find the machine under vehicles, under forestry machines, because I thought mowing, it's going to be under mowers. It's under forestry machines, not mowers. And it's there, the ILF S1500, 185 grand to buy, 155 horsepower. It will use 12 slots for the machine itself. Options available on this, we can change the rim colour to orange, black, special, which is like a chromey, silvery, oh no, and then the chrome, sorry, like so. I do normally like chrome, but I actually prefer that one, the special on this one. That's just a personal preference, but there you go. Under colour options, we can have yellow and grey, we can have yellow and green, we can have communal, orange with black, green all over, white and grey, back to the yellow and grey. Then we can have tyre choices. We can have Trelleborg, Michelin, Nokian, Mitas. Under Trelleborg, standard, wides. Michelin just come as they are, Nokian as they are, Mitas as they are. So we've got a few chunky kind of options on these as well, which is very nice. Then accessories on the front, we have standard, and the front plate on there is flat, nothing on it, with a trailer hook or with a 3-point front lift on there. So standard, trailer hook, 3-point. On the back it does have a trailer hook on that. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well. Those are your options available on the machine. So the machine itself, actually, you know what we'll do before we go into the machine itself? The headers. We'll look at the headers as well. So if we go into, were these all under forestry? I think they were. So under tools and then forestry equipment, they were all here. So you've got the new speed, 14,500 to buy. 1.5 metre header. Each of these is 6 slots for the first one if you're on console. Then you've got the new speed grass drop, and then you've got the forestry header. The forestry header is like a mulcher stump grinder, but it does have another feature. We're going to get onto that in a little while. I have got a forestry one set up. The new speed cuts the grass but doesn't leave the grass on the floor, and as you might expect, the one that says grass drop cuts the grass and leaves grass on the floor. So this can be used to cut the hedges, but also as a mower. You can use it as a cut. So if you're doing verges by the side of roads and things like that, it's fairly useful. Now, I'm going to address one question or point that's been brought up a few times in comments on Sandy Bay map yesterday. This is very niche, very specific piece of equipment. A lot of people are saying, well, it's pointless on any other map. You know, it's for cutting hedges that you can only do on Sandy Bay at the moment. The mower attachment, fine for verges, but let's be honest, it's a farming game. What's the point? So I'm going to address that comment. Yes, to some degree, that may be the case. However, in its forestry configuration, it does have much more of a use. If you're going to go down a narrative storytelling kind of route and you want to do a little bit more cutting verges by the side of the roads, and possibly even on this map doing hedges, it serves much more of a purpose. It is quite a handy platform for other uses as well, which I kind of like too. But what I also like is it's a new piece of machinery. It's something completely different. So whilst it is quite niche, when you look at most new pieces of equipment, they are fairly niche. Obviously they can be very niche in farming, but other things as well. So, you know, there is some merit to that argument, but I do think this is a little bit more versatile than just cutting hedges. I really honestly do. So let's jump in this one. Start it up. It is all-wheel steer, however we can change the steering configuration on it. The lighting bar at the front there is really cool. I like the way that stands up on there. Lights are pretty cool on it. Plenty of lighting. And off to the side, that will become more relevant in a moment. We do have a beacon on there, but what we also have on the back is when the beacon's flashing, that. So if you are going along doing a hedge, the traffic can go around you while you're doing it, which is rather cool. I like that. Turn that off. Turn the lights off for the moment. So I'm going to open the help menu. I've got my Satex side panel plugged into my PlayStation Pro, so that's how I'm managing to go into the menus separately. So if I go R1, toggle steering mode, I can do steering mode front wheel only, so now it's a regular kind of front wheel steer vehicle. I can toggle it, and we can do all wheel. No, is that yeah, all wheel. Toggle it again. Oh no, it's crab steering. Oh, that's interesting because it's crab steer, but still with all wheel at the same time. So it is going crab across the field, like that, but still with the all wheel steer capacity thrown in now. It's quite handy. And then we can go back to all-wheel steer again. So the first one was crab steer left, not all-wheel, because I turned and said, hang on a minute, that's still on all-wheel steer. So that's the steering controls. Unfolding this machine, L1 and X unfolds the machine, lifts the boom, swings it out to the side. The cab does move slightly out to that angle when you first do this, and that's in its kind of opened position. Now we do have options with it on the actual main vehicle. If you look up top left, if I change my configuration, I can go from, by pressing triangle, control group tool, control group wing, back to the vehicle itself. So if I do R1, I can move the boom out and back. Now it's fairly slow, so when you move it, if you keep your finger on it and then take your finger off the stick, it will continue to move for a little bit. We've also got out, so we've got an extension on this too. You can extend it all the way out like so. Bring it back. Now you might also notice a little bit of that where the joint is. We sometimes get this in excavators and cranes and stuff where the actual connection point seems a little bit floaty. Now I'm assuming this is attached with magnets or something because it has plates. I haven't looked up online on this, or the real world version, but there are like metal plates on this. So what I'm going to do is then do L1, and then I can do my side to side movement like so. And we can also then tilt it like that. So we've got that, side to side. It's just a case of getting used to the controls because they all do very different functions. Then we've got L1, R1, then does our rotation of our head. So we can do up like that, down like that. So we've got that motion. And then we've also got, if I change control group, I think to, on control group 1, I can rotate like that. So I've got a few different options. So L1, R1, and my right stick up and down will control that axis, but that's on control group 1. On control group 2, up and down opens and closes that little front flap. On vehicle itself is where I've got my control of arms, rotation, or say rotation, lift and down. So I know it didn't seem very clear, did it? But it's a case of having a bit of a play with it because there are quite a lot of options for movement of this. Now we can also, with this, L1, R1 and X, rotate the cab round, which puts it round into this position. Now when you put it round into this position, it switches your driving round again. So when I accelerate, I go that way, rather than if I brake, and then go that way. So it's kind of switches it all around the other way. But my position is now facing out to where the hedge would be. My direction of travel is that way or that way. So I'm facing out the side rather than directly behind. Normally when you change direction in the cab, it puts you either forward or rear. This one turns it through 90 degrees and puts you out the side. So it's a little bit of it's a strange position to feel yourself in. It's probably what I'm going to try to say very badly. Lights, horn, camera view. out to the side, so when you are moving you can just watch the crane if you want to. So you have got a kind of boom camera, like so, then back to our standard, which is all very lovely. Now, I have had a few issues with this actually working, but we'll see how we get on now. What I'm going to do is drop that down, make sure I get the rotation right on this, like that. I'm going to change control group to that. Rotate it a little bit that way. So hopefully now, down a bit. So what we should be able to do now is turn on the mower, and as you can see we are mowing, but this is the one that doesn't leave grass on the ground, so you might be able to see that strip now. It is mowing a strip, but it's not leaving anything on the ground. So if you don't want the hassle of having to pick up the grass when you've done it, you don't have to. You can just have it in that mode, no problem at all. So it will cut grass, which is fine. What I'm going to do, turn it off a second, lift that up. Now we're going to come to our hedge. Now this was the placed hedge, not the grown hedge. Now what I was hoping for, and again it could be a setting, it could be something I'm doing wrong, so apologies if I am, but I thought, you know, you'd be able to go along, trim the hedge, maybe do it at a little bit of an angle, and again this is no disservice to the mod or anything like that, so it could be something I'm doing wrong. But what I've found is I need to have the mower quite low down for us to trim the hedge. So what we'll do is drop that right down into there, almost down to the ground, and I have found it's not necessarily going to be the case all the time. So what will happen now is hopefully turn on the mower, and as we go, notice we are. Now this is a trimmer, this is trimming the hedge, it's cutting it back, it's not removing it completely. This will not remove hedges. This is just to go along and trim the hedges by the side of the roads or wherever you've got them as an additional kind of thing to the game. Does it serve any other purpose than that? It doesn't leave any bits of hedge behind, it's nothing for you to collect, it's not like wood chipping or anything like that, but you can see we are taking the hedge down as we go. We are trimming the hedge. Very nice indeed. So this placeable hedge, the one that I placed out of the landscaping tool menu, the next question is, having trimmed it, over time will that hedge grow back? I can tell you, yes it does. I've tested it, I've checked it, that hedge will grow back. So I've trimmed that hedge, no problem at all, and it will grow back. I'm going to put the steering back to normal. You don't have to be facing that way. So that's the placeable hedge. Let's turn it off. The hedge that I planted using a regular seeder, just went through the options, using a regular seeder I can do exactly the same thing. It says, we'll drop that down. Now this is what I found last time. I tried to use this and it wouldn't trim. So I'm wondering whether or not you do have to have the driving position facing that way for this to work. Or maybe it's just because I haven't got it far enough down. Could be that. Now that's weird. Why has that suddenly stopped working? It was working perfectly well. There we go. Isn't that weird? Literally just came down a little bit further and now it is trimming. There you go. So this is the one I planted myself. It takes a little while for it to grow, but you can also mow this. I say mow, trim it, like we're doing. Now if you don't want to swap sides, which of course you're not going to want to do, and it depends how thick your hedge is itself, you just extend the boom out. Hopefully it will work. Of course not quite far enough down. There we go. And we can stay on this side but still reach out and cut the rest of it on the other side. So we are cutting back as we come back along this, like so. So this one that I've planted myself, this will also grow back on its own. Why did that one cut? That's weird. I'll just change the angle a little bit. But it does trim, it does cut. Like I say, maybe this is a little bit niche, and maybe it's something you think, well, you know what, I'm not really that bothered, I don't want to cut hedges. That's fine, you don't have to. What I have done with this, I have got the 3-point link on it, and it does have a trailer hook on the back, which I already mentioned. So with the 3-point link on this, I'm going to fold this away. L1 and X folds that whole operation away, so we can put it away. So with the 3-point link on the front, you can add anything on there that requires a 3-point link will go on. So what you could do, if you're going along and you're doing verges by the side of the road, or just clearing up and do whatever, you can if you want. This is quite a big mower, actually quite a wide one, but there are narrower ones. You can put a regular mower on the front, unfold that. You could go along doing hedges and mowing a verge at the same time if you wanted to. So you can have the front mower going, and it will mow quite happily as a regular mower carrier, or anything else 3-point linked if you want to go down that route while using the side. The back hitch, I have found, I've only managed to get that to hook up to, because you look at it and think, okay, that's a pin hitch, trailer hitch. I've only managed to get that to hook onto trailers with swivel axles at the front. I haven't been able to get it to hook onto any other pin hitch trailers. So only certain ones it will hook up to, and there are just so many trailers to pick from. So that'll be a bit of fiddling around until you can find a trailer particularly you want. As you saw from the start of this video, I used the big long loader because I wanted to bring some stuff out on the back of a little trailer, but it wouldn't let me hook up to little ones. But that pin hitch does work on the back as well. So we've got a few options. We're trimming hedges. We can cut the grass and not leave anything on the floor. We can use a mower on the front or anything else 3-point link mounted on the front of that, which again adds a bit more versatility. Which moves on to this one. So this one has got the other head. This is the New Speed grass drop. Now I can do it right next to me here if I want to. So what I'm going to do is turn on the mower, and as we go along and we mow, it's leaving the grass behind. So this is the grass drop version. So if you want to do the verges and stuff and you want to collect the grass, put it in a bunker silo, feed it to your sheep, turn it into hay, whatever you want to do, you can then still use the verge grass. So that sort of thing of what's the point, you can't do anything with it, with this header you can. So the grass drop one will leave the grass behind. The only thing, like I say, you can't really do anything with is when you trim the hedges back. That is just aesthetic. There's not really any more to that. But what I will say with regard to the cuttable hedges, which is not necessarily to do with this mod, more to do with the map itself, that's a game changer. I think the placeable hedge like that, not in sections but one that you can put out, but which is also cuttable, you can divide fields up, you can do all sorts of stuff. I like that as a feature. I think that's a really, really cool thing. So that's those two. Like I say, there are various different options you can go for with regard to 3 points and things like that. So what I'm going to do is move over now to the forestry version, which is right here in front of me. So I've got a forestry version with the forestry header, which is a mulching header for getting rid of stumps. What I've also done though, from the CSZ pack, I've got the dozer blade. So if you want to use this for forestry, for shoving piles of logs around, moving them, tidying them up, whatever you want to do, that works brilliantly on the front of here. And again, you could probably use it for snow removal in the winter if you wanted to go down that route. I hate to use the word relevance, but it does make it more relevant in different roles. It's not just a hedge trimmer. I want to emphasise that a lot. But I think people are dismissing this as well. It's a hedge trimmer. What's the point? It's not. It will do so much more than that. So what we'll do is jump in it, turn the lights on. So on that dozer blade, I can raise the dozer blade up and down the 3-point link. I can tilt it. But like I say, there's so many different things I can use that for, but I've decided to put a dozer blade on the front, which I think really works well. Switch to that, open this out. And what we'll do is move that up a little bit. like so, maybe to about there I think. I've got to make sure I switch to the correct one. So rotate the head that way and then turn it on. Stump gone. Now that obviously wasn't the best way of showing it, was it? I need to adjust that tilt. That up a little bit. Depends how high your stump is off the ground, but stump be gone. So, as a stump grinder option, very cool indeed. I like that. Now what you might also notice is it does say allow create fields there. So if I now do L1 and triangle, sorry for the delay, I had to get the right setting, so I've got it on the actual head now. If I go triangle, down to the bottom to the dozer blade, out to the side to the main vehicle, then back up to the actual mulcher header itself. On the help menu up to the side there it says lower forestry mulcher. I hadn't lowered it, it was on that, so if you lower it and I've got allow and create fields on, we can now plough. Like so. So you can use it as a ploughing option. So when you are doing forestry, when you've taken your stumps out as well, and it might be you're trying to clear an area, maybe for a road to go in, you might just want to, whatever reason you want to do it for, you might want to decide you're going to put a little bit of a field in, or I think more for tracks and roads again. Does it serve a purpose or a function? In all honesty, if you want to put a small field in the woods, this will do it. So do I need to go and get another plough to do it? No, it's there, it's all part of this kind of package. You do have to make sure you lower the forestry mulcher. I had it unlifted, that's why it wasn't working. But I can then, if I want to, create a field, or, like I say, I could go out and do a strip a couple wide, wherever I want to go to. I could then come over with a cultivator one, or just leave it like that, and I've got myself a little trackway or roadway or whatever you want to do. So I really do think it has far more relevance than just, this is not just a hedge trimmer. You know, it needs to be going forward for it to work properly. But I think that ability to be able to go out, cut your trees down, then be able to get rid of the stumps, then plough a bit of ground out with the same bit on it. If you've got an attachment on there like a dozer blade, or there are so many different options of things you can put on this now with all the various different cutter adapters or just adapters generally speaking. I think with the 3-point link on the front of that, there's a whole host of options that then suddenly become available to this that could make it just an incredible bit of kit. I'm just thinking of all the various different things you could put on this. The CSZ pack really opens all this up as well. But anyway, sorry, I've waffled on a lot, and I do apologise for waffling on a lot. So we've covered the trees and hedges. What I will show you very quickly, if you didn't catch it on the Sandy Bay video, I'm just going to jump in here, grab a seeder, release that, and what I will do very quickly is we'll grab a small tractor, it doesn't matter which one as long as it hooks up to it. Release that, bear with me a second. So if you look bottom right now where it says wheat, if you do want to plant your own hedges, if you want to go down the route of being add a little more realism than just placing them, and you don't mind waiting them for them to grow, because they will take a little bit of time to grow. If I scroll through my options now, down the bottom we've got wheat, barley, oats, canola, soybean, oilseed radish, grass, and then cuttable hedge. So you can go through and cut your hedge, which is fantastic. I love it. I thought, well, it's part mod review, part Sandy Bay, kind of couple of bits on the cuttable hedges and things like that, but just saying this is a cuttable hedge, this cuts, that's how you can place them, that's how you can seed them, you know, kind of bit of everything in there. But I just think this, the Mac AGR ILF pack Energreen in inverted commas, this is by SMI Modding. Did I probably didn't even mention that, did I? Apologies. SMI Modding, what I'll probably do when I edit is put it at the start. If I've missed something, I do apologise. Like I say, there are a lot of, when you go through the different tool options, pressing triangle, a few different control options, and the controls, like anything with crane arms and stuff, takes a bit more practice. When you get a bit more au fait with the controls and you get the arm out and backwards and forwards and moving around, you can do it with a lot more fluidity. But I think it's great. It's a cracking bit of kit. Very cool indeed, and a lot more versatile than I think people give it credit for. So, cracking job by SMI Modding team. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.